Hi guys, welcome to week 11. So this week we're talking about developing deeper understanding. To do this, we seek clarification, and those are skills using questions to invite clients to thoroughly explain their feelings and thoughts with more specific detail. So when things are thoroughly explained, things become clearer to the practitioner and the client more, because they might not have found it on their own if the practitioner hadn't been like, oh, well, why? Not why, but like, oh, well, what can you tell me about how you're feeling? And then the client will explore more about them and realize so that's important. And expressing understanding through reflecting. So that's what we talked about last week, is making sure you not repeat, but kind of sum up what they said and be like, I'm kind of getting that you might feel angry about this, that kind of thing. And you want to explore the meaning of words and body language more. So if you are a practitioner leading a group and you ask, can someone please do this today, who wants to do this today, and everybody looks at the floor, you can say, will someone tell me what you're expressing by looking at the floor? And so you could ask that. Or if you're in a family group setting, you could be like, will you give me an example of what happens when people are angry in your family, just so you can get a better idea of what's going on. You also want to explore the basis of conclusions drawn by the clients. It is another area that needs further explanation by the practitioner. So if your client says, our family is hopeless, you could come back and say, I hear that you're feeling discouraged. Will you tell me what is happening that is making you feel hopeless? And then you could use the tell me about, would you give me an example of, what does this mean? Those kinds of things is something you could use even on one-on-one to try to further understand what is going on. If clients are not willing to explore more, though, do not push it. Instead, accept what they are willing to share. And you could ask the client about their hesitation, as it may be helpful to figure out what's holding them back. But if they seem uncomfortable, the practitioner should get back to expressing understanding in order to build a trusting relationship and not just push the questions. Silence is another big deal with practitioners and client relationships. So silence is sometimes the best way to allow the client to elaborate further. So if they make a statement, or they say something and then you just kind of stay quiet, they may continue talking. I don't know how you guys' experience has been, but last week when we did the written reflection exercise, I actually did stay quiet at one point, and my partner did actually continue talking. So I thought that was really cool. I didn't even know that I was practicing something from this week. So, but it is important to allow the clients to have time to think and process about what has been said, and the silence may be an appropriate or respectful response as well, especially when the client is expressing really strong feelings and needs time to reflect on those. It is important to remember some topics, especially those that involve intense, strong feelings, require more time to process. So you always want to make sure that you are paying attention, but not even to their words and everything, but how intense their feelings are getting about things. And some clients may not want to talk, and with some practitioners, they may even choose to remain silent because they believe the client will just talk when they're ready. Each situation and client needs to be thoughtfully considered as well with the silence. If you've been with them before and they've never opened up and just stayed quiet most of the time, maybe the next time you might need to ask some questions and stuff, just so you guys can actually keep moving forward. The practitioner may look at the client during these silent periods, or they could decide not to keep eye contact as a way to give them more space to reflect on their intense feelings. So some examples of this, I know, I'm back into my book, is with an individual, you could be like, you could give them more space with, like, if they say, I don't know why I get sick so often, maybe it is the stress in my life and the fast pace, and that's a way that you could just stay quiet. And in a group setting, they could say, I'm not sure where we should go from here, but it seems like we need to make a decision, and in this time, the practitioner could stay quiet and let the group members respond, because in group settings, it shouldn't just be the practitioner talking to one person, it should be the group talking to each other, and the practitioner just kind of mediating everything. And with families, if a family member says, I really wish that we could go do something together without fighting, that could be another example of when a practitioner is quiet, because you want to make sure that the family members have enough time to respond to that. So, looking for positive factors and strengths is essential. The client's strengths and positive factors that will help them resolve their problems. The strength also helps clients begin to feel hopeful and positive, and may even be able to cope more. The areas to consider when thinking about a client's strengths, positive factors, capacities, and resources is to look into the past ability to solve problems or manage problems, the level of resilience, so that includes the positive outlook, trust in others, confidence and ability to cope, positive self-esteem, and a strong cultural identity. So it's also important to see the common sense, ability to use past experience and knowledge to figure out what to do. Another thing is just see how they get support from others, financial support, eligibility for support service from social service support, adequate schooling, adequate housing, safe living area, ability to obtain and maintain employment. So these are all really important things to go over when you're trying to build your client up and empower them. Practitioners should go further and ask additional strengths and positive factors. So to do this, you could say, well, what do you do well? Or what do you like about yourself? Tell me about the people in your life who have helped you out. Tell me about a time that you helped someone else. If someone else had a problem similar to yours, what would you suggest that person do? And practitioners who partner with clients to understand these challenges, so instead of just being a practitioner client and separate, you guys are working together to solve the problems. It can be easier to understand challenges and to identify strengths, resources, and positive factors. And they create opportunities for clients to enhance their sense of empowerment as well. So after making reflective statements, you may ask questions that invite clients to identify how they have actively participated in solving problems, and in doing so, enhance their confidence of empowerment. So an example of this would be, tell me about something you completed that seemed difficult to you at the time, or what skills helped you solve these problems, these previous challenges. Focusing on strength is a way of demonstrating respect as well. Respect is so important with not even just personalized, but also with your client, because you want to make sure that they feel safe and that they feel like they can come to you, and respect is one of those things that can link you guys together. So respect can be expressed through expressing understanding and validating the client's story by showing interest in their thoughts, feelings, wants, needs, and goals. So by creating and maintaining a collaborative environment, you can do that by asking questions, asking about their strengths, resources, potential, and capacities. And then you can also do this by identifying strengths. Using language that expresses a belief that clients can change and are able to solve their problems also shows respect. And some examples of this is You've tried to solve this problem. Will you tell me about the other things that you've considered but haven't used yet? You could also ask, I understand it. You have done a lot of thinking about the problems this organization is facing. You have talked to a number of people about their understanding of the problem and have decided to commit time and energy to resolving this problem. You have taken some important steps in problem solving. So that's an example of summarizing and identifying their strengths. And I think it's very important to do all these things just because your clients might not even have anybody in their life that builds them up, and instead they could be tearing them down. And I'm really sorry about the length of this video. I didn't mean to go over 10 minutes, but I think this was a very important, and it was a lot of information packed into this short chapter. So I hope everybody has a great rest of their week and a great weekend. Thanks!